Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking.
Man, he's so badass, he might be able to do whatever the he wants. You know, he's Ricky.
NBC clearly don't care either. Fifth time. So, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English.
In recent years, the entertainment industry, with Hollywood at its epicenter, has come under intense scrutiny. The veneer of glitz and glamour that typically envelops the silver screen has been peeled back to reveal a host of deep-seated issues, including pervasive power imbalances and systemic injustices. Ricky Gervais, in his unapologetic Golden Globes monologue, fearlessly exposed these underlying truths. Yet, instead of being lauded for his candor, he appears to have found himself on Hollywood's metaphorical hit list. At least it seems that is what Joe Rogan is saying. Apparently, the industry as a whole did not take kindly to his unvarnished critiques and confrontations of its long-standing problems.
Man, he's so badass, he might be able to do whatever the he wants. You know, he's Ricky Gervais.
However, amidst the industry's collective discontent, there were notable exceptions. Some celebrities and individuals within the entertainment world applauded Gervais for his willingness to speak the truth. In a culture often characterized by silence and complicity, Gervais' boldness in addressing the uncomfortable realities of Hollywood was seen as a commendable act of courage by those who appreciated his unfiltered honesty. Joe Rogan, the influential podcaster and UFC commentator, was among those who were thoroughly impressed by Ricky Gervais' audacious monologue at the Golden Globes. Despite the controversy and the sharp criticism that followed, Rogan lauded Gervais for his fearless approach and spoke about the incident on his widely popular JRE, Joe Rogan Experience podcast. In his characteristic style, Rogan expressed his admiration for Gervais' unapologetic performance, exclaiming, "Thank God that guy swings. He's out there swinging from the hip, chin up, doesn't give an F, telling it like it is. I love it." Rogan's words resonated with many who appreciated Gervais' boldness in confronting the entertainment industry's most pressing issues head-on. During the podcast, Rogan and his guests delved into the mechanics of Gervais' monologue. They wondered how the comedian managed to deliver such razor-sharp and unscripted jokes, especially when it is customary for such award show monologues to be pre-written and vetted by producers. Rogan, however, believed that Gervais was such a badass that he may have been given permission to say and do whatever he deemed necessary to drive his point home. Gervais' reputation for unfiltered and fearless comedy likely played a role in granting him this creative freedom. Moreover, Joe Rogan appreciated the honesty that permeated Gervais' monologue. He held Gervais in high regard, labeling him a real comic during the podcast. Rogan's respect for Gervais stems from the comedian's unwavering commitment to speaking his mind and addressing societal issues with unvarnished candor. In a world where political correctness often stifles free expression, Gervais' monologue served as a refreshing reminder of the power of comedy to provoke thought and conversation. Another celebrity who enjoyed Richard's monologue is Dan Crenshaw. Dan backed the British comedian's fiery jokes, which called out Hollywood celebrities for using their acceptance speeches to convey political messages. Ricky has done a much deeper and more important service to our country than just making us laugh. The former Navy SEAL said on Fox and Amp Friends, "He's illuminating their hypocrisy in a way that they might actually change, because how many of those actors made some annoying political speech after that?" Crenshaw maintained that Hollywood's political activism only divides the country further. Entertainment culture has become divisive because it's the fault of the Hollywood elites, because they go up on stage and they make divisive comments and they make fun of 50% of the population and they call it a right-wing talking point when they themselves are criticized, Crenshaw said. Additionally, Whitney Cummings also defended the comedian. She tweeted at the time, "I love you, Ricky Gervais," alongside a clip of the monologue. She then admitted that she isn't watching the award show. "For every second you spend complaining about Ricky Gervais' jokes, you should have to donate $100 to Australia," she tweeted. "I am not watching the Golden Globes live, but based on how pissed off everyone is, my guess is that Ricky Gervais wrote and performed actual jokes." Cummings concluded saying, "For anyone who wants to call Ricky Gervais mean, he's done more for animal welfare than most celebrities combined." Al Pacino also defended Gervais's jokes after the 2011 Golden Globes, saying, "When you're a comic like that in this kind of environment, you sort of can't censor yourself." Much like Pacino, De Niro and Scorsese showed they weren't afraid to laugh at themselves, even when under the crushing weight of Gervais's honesty. At the 2020 Golden Globes, De Niro and Scorsese were seen sitting close to the stage alongside The Irishman co-stars Pacino and Joe Pesci. Gervais gave them a brief moment of praise before bringing up Scorsese's then-recent comments about Marvel movies being theme park rides. Gervais turned the comment into a joke about Scorsese's height, and the famed director laughed while admitting his short stature.
He said they're not real cinema, and they remind him of theme parks. I agree. Although I don't know what he's doing hanging around theme parks. He's not big enough to go on the rides, is he? It's tiny.
While one of his Marvel co-stars didn't take a liking to Gervais's humor, more on that in a little bit, Chris Evans, Captain America himself, was thoroughly enjoying himself at the 2020 Golden Globes. This was arguably Gervais at his most savage, so there were bound to be some offended individuals. Evans was not one of those people. At one point in Gervais's monologue, the camera cuts away to show a handsomely bearded Evans laughing with a full and gorgeous smile. Seems like he was enjoying himself, which is something that could not be said for some other folks. While Joe Rogan and many other celebrities applauded Richard's monologue, it's important to note that not everyone was pleased with his remarks. Comedy is a subjective art form, and humor often hinges on pushing boundaries and challenging social norms. This can sometimes lead to controversy or discomfort among certain audiences. In the case of Richard's monologue, some viewers may have found his jokes offensive or inappropriate, sparking debates about the limits of comedy in today's cultural climate. If there's one celebrity who didn't appreciate Gervais' routine, it was Spider-Man actor James Franco. In a resurfaced interview with Shortlist, the Oscar nominee spoke very honestly about his feelings towards Gervais' hosting style. Franco began by asserting he didn't mind celebrities being made fun of every once in a while. Here's the deal with Ricky. I think he's really, really funny and a great comedian. He has a certain kind of harshness, which I appreciate. But the thing is, after the Globes, he said, "I'm not ashamed. Why should I feel bad about making fun of a bunch of millionaires?" True. He should do that, Franco said. However, Franco believed that ceremonies like the Golden Globes wasn't the time or place for that kind of comedy. But when it's an event where you've been asked to host and it's a celebration, it just doesn't seem like the right context. He should do that kind of thing on his show. If he's been asked to participate in something where he's supposed to celebrate people, don't bring that kind of humor in. It just doesn't fit, and it's bad taste for me, he continued. Additionally, Robert Downey Jr. is one of those folks, and we can't say we're surprised given how sensitive he is when discussing his past. When introducing RDJ, Gervais made a joke about the actor's history with substance AB and addiction. When RDJ got to the stage, he made a remark that indicated he wasn't particularly happy with Gervais's bit. Backstage, RDJ would tell the press, "I think it's great to be funny, but it's better when you can do it without hurting people." What's more, 3 years after his dangerous monologue at the award show, there are claims Gervais fears for his life as the list of his enemies grows longer by the day. Apparently, Ricky had no option but to tighten up security and lay low. Sources close to the comedian stated, Ricky is very aware of the dangers and he can afford whatever security he wants, so he thought it was a no-brainer. Ricky also talked about how every day he gets closer to meeting his demise. Could this mean he fears being over his controversial statements against the Hollywood elites? Well, this is what he had to say. "Every day I'm closer to death. Every day is a bigger percentage of the rest of your life, and we don't know what percentage that will be. If I die tomorrow, today was 50%. Fans also commented on the risk that Richard took in exposing Hollywood, with one particular fan stating, "Ricky Gervais laid bare all the dirty little secrets of the Hollywood and ruling elite. Cook's face was priceless in a mere 8 minutes. I'm surprised he hasn't been canceled. The hate speech I see on here now is from TRAs." A second fan added, "I am certainly not one to promote violence, but these comedians have for too long danced on the line with their jokes. For example, Ricky Gervais's Golden Globe monologue, a good reminder to watch your mouth." The Golden Globes, a venerable institution in the world of entertainment, have left an indelible mark on Hollywood for decades. This celebrated awards ceremony is a quintessential night of jubilation, where luminaries from the realms of film and television congregate to acknowledge and celebrate exceptional accomplishments. The glitz, glamour, and grandeur of the Golden Globes are unparalleled, making it a beacon of recognition for artists and creators across the globe. One key element of the Golden Globes is the host, a pivotal figure responsible for steering the evening's proceedings. In 2020, the irreverently witty and candidly humorous Ricky Gervais, an iconic figure in the comedy and entertainment world, assumed the role of host once more.
Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you.
This was a rare opportunity in the industry, and Gervais had no intention of squandering it. As the evening began, the audience, accustomed to the customary pleasantries and jovial introductions, was in for a jolt. Ricky Gervais, known for his candid and often controversial humor, made it abundantly clear that he was not there to pander to the elite or play it safe. His willingness to speak candidly about pressing issues set the tone for an unforgettable evening. The monologue started, and the atmosphere in the room quickly shifted. Attendees shifted in their seats, unsure of what Gervais would say next. It was evident that he had no intention of holding back or pulling punches. When Ricky Gervais declared that he no longer cared, it was a signal that he was about to unleash a torrent of unfiltered opinions and truths. In his monologue, Ricky Gervais fearlessly peeled back the layers of the glitzy facade that often obscures the less savory aspects of the entertainment industry. He confronted uncomfortable truths, bringing to light some of the darkest issues that have long plagued Hollywood. One of the first topics he addressed was the college admission scandal involving Felicity Huffman.
And the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay?
The scandal revealed that Huffman had paid significant bribes to secure her daughter's place at a prestigious college, thereby depriving a more deserving student of the opportunity. Huffman accepted her punishment, but the incident was a stark reminder of how power and privilege can be abused at every stage of life. She spoke on her ruling and said, "I accept the court's decision today without reservation," Huffman said at the time of her sentencing. "I have always been prepared to accept whatever punishment Judge Talwani imposed. I broke the law. I have admitted that, and I pleaded guilty to this crime. There are no excuses or justifications for my actions, period." Gervais didn't stop there. He went on to tackle one of the most notorious scandals that rocked Hollywood, the case of Jeffrey Epstein. With a bold and controversial joke, Gervais mentioned Epstein's alleged suicide in prison, a topic that had captivated the public's attention.
In the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Epstein, a financier, faced charges of illegal human trade and conspiracy to engage in illegal human trade. What initially seemed like an ordinary case of illegal human trade quickly spiraled out of control as disturbing details emerged. Epstein's ability to evade justice for so long was attributed to his high-profile connections, which included figures like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and even celebrities like Chris Tucker and Kevin Spacey. Spacey, in particular, had to testify about his association with Epstein, attempting to distance himself from the scandal by stating, "I was now being talked about as if I knew Jeffrey Epstein, and because I'd been on this airplane, I had actually flown to what was being called P Island. And while it is true that I met Jeffrey Epstein on that trip, I never saw him again, and I have never been to any island." Epstein was not the only offender with deep ties to the Hollywood elite. Many big names in the industry have been directly involved in illegal human trade and have faced legal consequences. The most prominent among them was Harvey Weinstein, a prolific film producer who once held a lofty position in Hollywood's hierarchy. Gervais didn't hesitate to highlight Weinstein's case, shedding light on how the entire industry had seemingly conspired to protect him through silence.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein.
At this point, the audience was on the edge of their seats, not knowing what to expect next. Gervais continued his bold exploration of the industry's underbelly by addressing Leonardo DiCaprio, the iconic actor known for his roles in films such as Titanic and Inception. Gervais humorously pointed out DiCaprio's predilection for dating women considerably younger than himself, to the extent that they could be his daughters.
Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So...
As Leonardo DiCaprio continues to age, his romantic interests seem to be progressively younger. Yet this is not a problem limited to DiCaprio alone. Gervais delved into the disconcerting issue of individuals in the industry preying on young boys and girls. Hollywood's culture of P and child AB is not a new revelation. The industry has been plagued by horrifying accounts of child AB, with even child stars like Corey Feldman, known for his roles in iconic 80s films like Goonies, Stand By Me, and The Lost Boys, sharing their experiences. Feldman spoke about the parties he attended in his youth, where adults mingled with children. These events were not only confined to informal gatherings, but also found their way into film awards ceremonies and children's charity functions. Ricky Gervais was unafraid to assert that the woke culture in the industry had inadvertently emboldened P to commit their crimes more boldly and fearlessly. The uncomfortable truth he addressed forced the audience to confront a disturbing aspect of the industry they loved. However, Gervais' critique did not end with the issue of P and child AB. He ventured into another contentious topic: racism within Hollywood. He unapologetically acknowledged the systemic racism that permeated the industry, systematically undermining the prospects of people of color.
Many talented people of color were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist.
His unflinching criticism of Hollywood's self-righteousness didn't stop there. He concluded his speech by calling out actors who win awards and then proceed to deliver lengthy, self-aggrandizing speeches. Gervais questioned their moral authority to do so while they continued to work for platforms that exploited people. His message was clear: if you are part of a system that perpetuates inequities and injustices, you have no right to preach to the masses.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
Gervais' speech was a clarion call to Hollywood and the entertainment industry at large. His unapologetic candor served as a stark reminder that even within the glitzy and glamorous world of Hollywood, there are deep-seated issues that must be confronted, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. Ricky Gervais had the audacity to take a stand and use his platform to confront the dark secrets that have long festered in the shadows of the entertainment industry. In doing so, he not only entertained, but also initiated a critical conversation about the industry's values and practices. The impact of Gervais' speech was profound and far-reaching. It wasn't just an 8-minute monologue, it was a turning point that ignited discussions and introspection across Hollywood. While some in the audience may have been left speechless and nervous, many individuals outside the industry were applauding his bravery and candor. Gervais' speech raised a fundamental question: to what extent is the public willing to tolerate, overlook, or even perpetuate the issues that plague our beloved industries, simply for the sake of entertainment? His courage to confront these issues challenged the status quo and forced people to reevaluate their complicity. It was a wake-up call to the entertainment industry, a reminder that integrity and accountability should never take a backseat to applause and box office revenue. Beyond its immediate impact, Gervais' speech has had lasting repercussions. It has become a symbol of the power of unapologetic truth-telling in the face of formidable opposition. The speech serves as a reminder that comedians and artists, while often seen as entertainers, can also be essential catalysts for change. They have the ability to hold a mirror up to society and, in this case, to an entire industry, making it confront its own demons. Moreover, the speech raised questions about the role and responsibility of award shows like the Golden Globes. Are these ceremonies just elaborate self-congratulatory events, or should they serve a more significant purpose in our society? Should they be platforms for meaningful commentary and calls for change, or should they remain as pure entertainment? In the wake of Gervais' speech, some viewers and industry insiders called for a re-evaluation of the purpose and format of such award shows. They questioned whether these events should continue to be hosted by comedians and entertainers, or whether they should take on a more serious and introspective tone. Gervais, in his inimitable way, had effectively disrupted the established norms of award shows. In essence, Ricky Gervais' 2020 Golden Globes monologue was not just an 8-minute roast of Hollywood's elite. It was a seismic event that reverberated through the entertainment industry and the broader cultural landscape. It sparked conversations about accountability, privilege, and the power of unapologetic honesty. While Gervais may have ruffled some feathers and left his audience in a state of shock, he also won the admiration and respect of countless individuals who appreciated his willingness to speak truth to power. In the months and years that followed, Gervais' speech continued to be a reference point in discussions about Hollywood, award shows, and the responsibilities of those in the public eye. It was a reminder that humor and entertainment can be powerful tools for social commentary and change, and that sometimes the most uncomfortable truths are the ones that need to be told. The impact of Gervais' speech also extended beyond Hollywood. It resonated with people around the world who saw in it a reflection of their own struggles for justice, equality, and accountability. Gervais' unapologetic style, his refusal to bow to convention, and his willingness to confront uncomfortable truths became emblematic of a broader cultural shift towards demanding transparency, integrity, and fairness from those in positions of power. In any case, Ricky Gervais' 2020 Golden Globes monologue was a moment of unapologetic truth-telling in the entertainment industry. It brought to light uncomfortable issues such as abuse of power, misconduct, racism, and hypocrisy. While some in the audience may have been left stunned, Gervais' speech initiated vital conversations and forced Hollywood to confront its demons. Beyond the glitz and glamour, it served as a stark reminder that entertainment should not come at the expense of integrity and accountability. Gervais' courage to challenge the status quo has left a lasting legacy, demonstrating the power of unapologetic truth-telling in the face of formidable opposition. It's a lesson that extends far beyond Hollywood, inspiring individuals and industries to confront uncomfortable truths and demand change. Ricky Gervais, with his audacious monologue, proved that sometimes the most powerful weapon is not a script or a stage, but the unvarnished truth. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.